Hello, my name is Mark Hard. I'm the lead counselor at Chisholm Trail High School, and this video is being created for our EMS ISD students to help them prepare for the arena scheduling or preferred schedule request window coming up. Hopefully this video will help answer some questions you may have and help make this process much easier for you. Before we start going through the how-to process, I do want to answer some common questions that we have in regards to this process. First one is that arena scheduling or preferred schedule request is not required of our students, but it is encouraged. Students who do not complete this process will be auto-scheduled by the counseling department. So the students who choose not to submit a request of what they would like their schedule to look like next year, their schedule will still be built. The counselors will go in and we will schedule their courses to make them fit the best way possible and in the smallest class sizes that we can. You can choose to schedule only a few things and your counselor will complete the remainder of your schedule for you. So let's assume a student prefers to have math in the morning. They do best when math is in the morning in their schedule. So they go in and they select a first period math class, but they really don't care where the rest of their classes fit in. They leave the rest of their schedule blank, then your counselor, your high school counselor will go in and fill the rest in around that first period, as long as that works and there's no conflict with that early morning math class. If you get stuck, stop and let your counselor figure it out for you. Oftentimes in the midst of scheduling, it can become a little overwhelming or difficult. Maybe you just can't find a way to make it work the way you want to. At that point, just stop where you're at and go ahead and either step away and come back to it later, or just leave it alone and let your counselor take care of it. We will find a way to make sure that you get scheduled into all the classes that you have to have for graduation and do our best to get you scheduled into as many of the things you want as possible. Don't click submit until you are done, and that's very important in this process. Once you hit the submit button, you are locked out of this option and you will not be able to change anything else. So often we have students who get online and they get into this early in the morning and they put a few things that are very important into their request and they're scared if they don't submit, they're going to lose their seats. That is not how this works. So once you go in and you click to add a class to your request, your schedule request, then that seat's yours. It's not going anywhere. No one can bump you out of it unless you go in and drop it. So the best thing to do if you start working on the morning before school and then classes start, so you have to stop and come back to it maybe at lunch, that's fine. Log out. When you log back in at lunchtime, it will pick up right where you left off. And the last thing to keep in mind that this is only a request and not an official schedule. What you submit through arena scheduling to your high school counselor is a request. We do our best to meet that request the best we can. However, things happen that create changes, including staffing changes over the summer and master scheduling changes over the summer. So at times and often for students, things have to be adjusted. So please understand, we'll do our best to meet your request needs, but there is the possibility of changes due to it only being a request. And so now let's switch over and let's look at arena scheduling and how that would work. Here you can see I'm already logged into my student access account. And on the left, we have our menu. And when the window opens up, you will be able to have access to this right here, arena scheduling. When we click on arena scheduling, we're going to click for the 21-22 school year. But you're going to click on whatever school year it is that you're entering the following year. And as we go in, you will see a list of courses. On mine, the very first thing, I have a whole bunch of options for Algebra 2, and then I have a science class listed below that. The list of courses here is based on the request you submitted with your counselor earlier in the school year. These are the only courses you have to pick from at this point. There will be a window later in the school year for you to make adjustments, But for now, these are the only classes you can choose from. We'll talk about some of these different options here soon, but you do have a drop down for different ways to filter through period and through subject. It gives you a little menu here to tell you what some of the different codes here stand for. Over here, we have the option to add a course. It tells us, does it fit into our current schedule? We haven't put anything yet, so everything fits. How many seats are available in that section? What period it is. Is it a semester class or a year-long class? And I'll show you more about that later. But yeah, the most important things that you would want to consider is the course, the periods, and does it fit? And so I'm going to show you a bunch of different ways to go through this. There's also the arrow buttons down here where we can sort through to see what courses I have to select from. Now, the example I'm giving you here is a senior, but this can be done really with any student. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to begin by showing you that one way we can sort is by period. And so if I know I just want to start with first period and see what's available to me, I can click first period, apply filter, and it is going to list for me every class that's available to me in first period. And so as I look at my options here, I can see this is where I talked about before, some semester courses, semester 1, S1, semester 2, S2. I'm going to go ahead and add economics in this place. I want to take that in the morning first thing, so I'm going to click add. And I want you to notice something under the fit column once I add this to semester 1. Most of these, the fit changed to a no, but notice there's a couple exceptions. And the exceptions are the semester courses that are available second semester. Now, as a senior, I have to take 1 semester of government, 1 semester of econ, and for most students, that works best if they're the same period of the year, same period during that school year. So I'm going to go ahead and select government second semester since it fits. And you'll notice that once I do that, nothing else fits in first period. The reason being I already have a class there. Also notice that next to the 2 courses that I have added, it now says remove. So if I change my mind, that's where I would go in to remove something from my schedule. So I've already got first period. So now I'm going to go to second, but I do want you to notice this class down here, health science, PCT. Notice that it has a 1 and a 2. And when I go to second period and apply my filter, that course is still down here. The reason is that this is a unique course in that it's double blocked. It's offered for 2 periods, first and second. The student has to schedule both of them. And so if I pick that class into my schedule, I have to make sure both are open. And notice that it's telling me this one, that is 1, 2, is not a fit. And the reason being that I've already scheduled first period. So for second, third period, I'm going to just continue. I'm going to go ahead and select Algebra 2. All right, and now nothing fits there. As I go to third period, I want to show you something that the way this program works, I can make a mistake of forgetting what I've scheduled, and I can go to third period and schedule Algebra 2 again. It doesn't tell me when I've already scheduled something, but there is a way to see that. If I go to View, Print, Schedule, when I click on that, it will show me what I've already completed. And now I can see, oh man, I messed up here. I've got algebra in both periods. And up here at the top, notice it says to remove a class from your schedule, click the class description if it has a link. So this one does. So if I click Algebra 2 for third period, are you sure you want to remove it? Yes, it allows me to remove it. All right, so that's one way I could clean my schedule up if I accidentally schedule something more than once. I'll also point out here that we can see that economics is the first 3 6 weeks, government the second 3 in first period, like we discussed. So I'm going to show you a different way to filter. If I got rid of the period and I just said, I need to figure out when my English class is going to be. What are my options for English? And I apply the filter. It's going to show me all the options for my English class. I can look through and see the periods. I can see what does and doesn't fit. And so here's one that I'm just going to go ahead and add. I'm going to add third period for English. Now, I prefer completing this process by searching by period. I think that's the easiest way to work my way through. But you can do by content area if you choose to. Now, every student will also need to add a lunch in. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. At the high school, lunches are part of our schedule. It's either third, fourth, or fifth period. So if you want to add in a lunch, make sure you don't forget to do that. I'm going to go to sixth period. And I've already added English or Algebra 2. I've already added Government and Econ. I've already added English 4. So the only thing I have left that hasn't been placed in my schedule that's available at this time is this health science. So I'm going to go ahead and add it. But let's assume that didn't fit into my schedule. That wasn't there. This is where I might have to go back and say, oh, I put economics first period, but I really need to move it to sixth. And I might have to go in and do some adjusting here. I'm going to go on to seventh period. And look and see what's available. As I look, not real sure if there's anything here I don't need, but again, a way I can check and see is to go to view. And as I look through these, I could quickly see I have my English, my math, my social studies. I don't have a science yet. And so if I look on here, I can see that my aquatic science class is offered during seventh period. And now the only period I have left is eighth. So when I apply that filter, this is where my baseball class is and has to go into that period. So now if I go to view, I can see that I've selected all my classes, my schedule is full and everything looks good. But if for some reason it wasn't, I can always remove. If something didn't fit, I can remove by clicking on view print schedule, or if I got stuck. Once I'm done, I can finish this out by clicking submit. It's going to show me a picture of my schedule one more time because it wants to make sure that it's like I want it. Everything's where it is. I hit submit again. And then are you sure? Once I click yes, I am locked out of making any further changes to my schedule, Arena scheduling, or my schedule request. Arena scheduling will lock and no further changes can be made at that point. The next opportunity to make changes will be later in the school year. Close to the end of the year when we open up a class change request window at the high schools. And that will be communicated out to all students and families when it's available. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it helped to answer a lot of your questions. And if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out to your high school counselor or your current middle school counselor, depending on your current grade. Guys, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much and have a great day.